Okay, we're here for the third watercolor technique we're going to learn, which is building up color. What we are going to do is take one color and we're going to go from light to dark. We're going to start with a light value and build up to a darker value of that color, or the full value at full saturation. When we're doing this, it's called a gradient, where you go from light to dark, or often it's called ombre, if you've heard that term before. So we're going to start on one side with a little puddle of water to just get us started. And then I'm going to pick green, because who doesn't like green? I'm going to put the tiniest amount of pigment on my brush. I'm going to start over here where the puddle has not started, and I'm going to clean off my brush a little bit so I don't have too much, and I'm going to just sort of gently and lovingly work a little bit of my watercolor from pigment to lighter. I'm going to see how pale I can get it. This is basically taking the tiniest amount of pigment and mixing it with the water. Okay, so now I've got sort of transparent to super pale to a light green. So now I'm going to go over a little bit, and I'm going to start working my way back. This is going to be a little bit of back and forth. And sometimes it even helps to go back in with a tiny bit of just water. And sometimes it even helps to use a blotting technique, which we will do in just a couple of minutes. So I'm trying to push some of those darker values a little bit to the right here. So I'm just kind of working a little bit more water in. And then to get really full saturation, I'm going to dig into the actual solid part of the pigment here and get a nice dark. And this is my final value. This is my green at its darkest value. So you kind of work dark to medium to light. I'm wiping my brush off a little bit so that I'm just working with the pigment that's on the paper. And there I go. I've got really, really pale greens all the way through to a dark green. So you can choose whatever color you like, which I probably should have said up front. You might all have been just using greens as you worked alongside here. But that is building up your color gradually and just learning to use different amounts of water and dry brush and wet brush in order to control a color going gradually from light to dark.